Everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Lucid's Tournament Game 7, where we are playing Helheim. This is turn 17. Let's jump into things. With a password. Couldn't remember my password for it. Alright, so we've got a little bit going on. Hushadar, the first Heavenborn, has claimed the Throne of Fortune in the name of Toll, King of Death and Rebirth. So this is Calum. Taking the Throne of Fortune, which is a good throne, but one that we care less about. Still good. Spart 1 has searched Tiny Willow for magic sites and found nothing. Unfortunate. And we get to watch this is anticipated, right? But we get to watch a battle in Marverni. So, let's see how this goes. Alright, so Sarmatia wisely has changed up his formation from the previous battle. He has his Oirapatas spread out in a loose line formation, right? A double line, it looks like. These guys are going to be able to catch just about anyone, so there's not going to get any like flanks or anything like that on the battlefield, probably. And then he has his mages slightly spread out. Now, he has most of his warrior sorceresses up front. But he has in the back his gray ones, Woe and Suffering, because Pain died, so she should be back at base. And he's got some warrior sorceresses back here as well. And then over here, he's got his group of NREs at the ready to communion up and do. And across on the other side of the field, we have these Epony Knights 1 and 2. And then a big old group of PD, it looks like. Marverni bare-chested warriors and slingers and some Carnute nobles. These guys are actually pretty sketch. They can fuck you up, especially if they get their tattoos awaken, and they go berserk. They can beast mode. So immediately out of the gate, it looks like Marverni maybe did a little bit of a PD dump. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I've looked at this, but I don't remember what all he did. But right out of the gate, this is a problem, right? These Epony Knights are probably his chance at winning here. And to have them out in front on the wings like this means that they're going to hit the Oirapatas, and Epony Knights are good, but Oirapatas are sacreds, right? They got a bless coming. The Epony Knights do not. So this is not going to end well for them. Had he put them in the back, right, in the same kind of position on the wings, and then had them on a hold and attack rear, right? His center mass moves forward, engages the Oirapatas, which are kind of pulled in, and then the Epony Knights might actually have been able to flank and done something there. They might also have not made it into battle because the regular forces might have just gotten slaughtered before then, but as it is, what's going to happen is these Epony Knights are going to rush in and meet the Oirapatas, and they're not going to do horribly right off the bat, right? But they are going to get overpowered with time. There are more Oirapatas than there are Epony Knights, for one thing. And for another thing, the Oirapatas are just better. So that's a problem. The gray ones do end up putting up foul vapors, and then there are some skeletons coming out, but this is interesting. Though the Epony Knights are now being decimated, and the Oirapatas are in with the bare-chested warriors and the noble warriors, right? We've got all of these slingers here in the back, these Marverni slingers, which slingers are kind of whatever. Except, boom, pop, boom, pop. fucking snipers over here. Another one routes, right? The slingers actually do a number on the NREs. NREs. Fucking my enunciation on the wrong syllable. But unfortunately, right, that is kind of a little hidden victory for Marvernius, taking out some of the Inaris, but overall, this is a pretty crushing defeat. But I mean, it's also one of those scenarios of there's a lot of mage support here for Sarmatia, and there's basically none for Marverni. So what we see here is definitely a PD dump, right? Definitely. There's no way that he had this big of a province defense without putting some money into it. And this could have potentially done something, right? But I think the Epony Knights was a big mistake. Like, the placement of them was a big mistake. Having them out in front, immediately taking the charge with the Oirapatas, bad move. Now, if they, because one, they're outnumbered, right? There's double the amount of Oirapatas. Now, if they had been entirely on one flank, right? And the Oirapatas had got stuck in with the province defense, then maybe the Epony Knights would have been able to wrap around and really have pressured whatever flank that they were on until they could, like, break it and push it down. Or have been able to do, like, a rear attack and get around and maybe kill the gray ones, maybe kill the Inaris or something like that, and then do some damage to the Oirapatas from behind. But generally speaking, you know, this was a nice attempt, but I think placement of the Epony Knights kind of really screwed the pooch on things. That being said, he did come away with killing a gray one. Again, I think this was just because of foul vapors more than anything else. But killed several Inaris, actually killed a warrior sorceress, and killed a couple of Oirapatas. Not very many, but a couple. Let's jump into that battle real quick one more time, because I want to see which gray one it is that dies. Because I think it's this one. I think it's Suffering dies. And she doesn't have Twiceborn on her. So this might actually be a problem. Because Woe has Twiceborn. Suffering does not. Also, this use of blood slaves, like, with foul vapors up, is very lucky that all of these blood slaves just don't die every time. She dies, so Suffering does die. She lives, but she's got 35 poison resistance. These actually, neither of them die. Interesting. Cool. Alright, well. Not too bad. Cool stuff. What else do we got going on? We've got one of our bailiffs is afraid of monsters, so they have personally increased the defense in Pergami. This is actually pretty cool. And in Dead Forest, a harsh law against vagrancy has been decreed. We get some increased resources. This is okay. Unfortunately, we want more recruitment points in Dead Forest than anything else, and losing the population is kind of annoying. Not horrendous, but then we lose another 150. So 200 people is annoying, along with province income -3, and that's, you know, kind of whatever. But we've got luck scales. Damn it. You know, this is a so not happy about that, but it is what it is. The worldwide event has occurred. The Throne of Fortune has been taken, so of course we get the luck event. Everyone gets luck +1. We we are luck 3. However, not all of our provinces are luck 3, so this is going to help spread our luck 3 faster than it otherwise would spread. So that's actually a good thing. So let's take a look at Pergami real quick. Pergami now has 16 province defense, and this is pretty nice because we've got some heavy cav and some heavy infantry here. That's pretty good province defense. Bueno. That's a lot of red marks. So it's time. It is time. The battle upon Marverni did not go as well as one might hope, right? But Sarmatia has committed their forces, and we are in position. The death of some of those Inaris means that is some of the combat potential gone from Sarmatia. We know that our Hellherdings are a match for his Oirapatas. Obviously, different situations. Blah, 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 blah. But generally speaking, we can compete there. But now we need to tamp down his ability to produce Inaris, and more specifically, Horde of Skeletons, right? So we've got to go now. And the hope is that he's probably not going to move this army this turn, but if there's something here to reinforce, he's probably going to move it out, right? And he might well, this is the big hope, he might well raid, right? He might well have this army sit on Marverni while he brings in reinforcements and raid the surrounding countryside, which is great. That's fantastic for us, because if he does that, right, then that means he would have to spend a turn reconsolidating those forces, or more likely, like send them all past down to Letia or something like that, right? But there's the possibility that they don't have enough movement, right? Or something along those lines. Basically, it's potentially an extra turn that he has to take to respond, depending on the situation. And it's an extra turn that Marverni might be able to utilize to defend himself or reinforce himself or something along those lines. We'll see. I have no idea what Marverni actually has in his capital, but I would assume, if it had been me, if I had enough at my capital that I thought I could reliably have actually fought that battle, I would have fought that battle. Because otherwise, you've got a slow death. So we'll see how that goes. So we are hitting a whole bunch of different provinces. We are hitting every province in Saramatia's cap circle. We are hitting Brightgate. We are hitting Saramatia itself with 2 different forces, right? And that is the hope there, of course, being that we are going to be able to overwhelm his province defense, right? Without issue. We are hitting Glimmering Fields with 2 different forces. And the hope there is, again, to make sure that we can overwhelm whatever province defense he has and try to, at least for a turn, prevent whatever it is he's doing. Tamp down on that recruitment. Cause him strife and issue. Probably next turn, I anticipate winning the majority of these engagements. We might lose a stray few. It happens. But generally speaking, we should win the majority of these engagements. And then next turn, we will probably consolidate on Sarmatia. If things go poorly, we might consolidate elsewhere. But realistically, I would assume that that's probably what's going to happen. So we pop, we take everything except for Felden, Ungabaloth, Gifa, Forest of Long Nights, and then these 3, right? But we take most of his actual land. We take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 provinces, and then we sit on 2 fortresses. And then it begins. We're immediately going to send a message to Abyssia on the next turn and say, hey, Abyssia, take 73, take 71. They're yours. Free deal, right? We're probably going to pop on Ungbeloth. We're going to send more forces into Brightgate, more than likely. And we're probably going to jump onto Sarmatia, and hopefully we will be able to do something. We've got, we think 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45-ish hell hurtings. What that puts us at is a little over 50 or so. A comparable army, basically, with what with Sarmatia has up on Marverni right now. So if we look at a fortification, we've got about 250 wall integrity. It would take us 5-ish turns to pop the fort. That's probably not going to be a possibility. Even if he decides to allow us that long, without like trying to knock us off with mages or etc., right? We're probably not going to have that long because he'll probably just march his army back, right? Even if it takes him an additional turn to consolidate, he should be able to consolidate in Letia, and then he'll just go, so we pop, right? The next turn he goes all to Letia, all to Glimmering Fields, all to Towers of Heaven, all to Sarmatia. Easy peasy, right? It's definitely not going to take him 5 turns to get back and defend his capital. So we have to start thinking about what can we do in the meantime to give us the win. And that's a sketchy notion, truth be told. I'm not sure. Again, we're kind of doing this on a whim. This might be a bad engagement for us. We might have missed our window on Sarmatia, but I want to try it, so we're going to see how it fares. One of our goals is to hit Alteration 3. We'll hit Alteration 2 next turn, but one of our goals is to hit Alteration 3 shortly, and in that endeavor, we continue to make Owl Quills, continue to produce Van Hairs. We are continuing to make Svartalfs over here. We have fucked up, actually. Right? Because this guy's building a lab. We actually have to send him over here because we've got to have another Van Hair over here to grab these units and take them. So we're producing Van Heers in Kohnberg, but we keep on, because we're doing the Svartal, so we're continuing to have to like pull them away. But we're building a lab in Dead Forest, and we will have a fortress there next turn, which means we'll be able to start producing that. And a good portion of part of the issue that we're having is every turn between like 400 to 600 of our gold is going to infrastructure. So we're about to not have to do that anymore, which is good, which means we can focus more on mages, and being able to focus more on mages is going to allow us to ramp up our research speed, because we are quite obviously woefully behind, right? So that is the price we paid for the ability to expand well and the ability to afford this type of infrastructure, right? Because look at Sarmatia. Sarmatia did not expand well and does not have the infrastructure that we have, right? So that's what we have paid for. Now we have to use that and hope that it works. Fingers crossed. We will be able to, not next turn, right? We are getting more Jade Maidens here. We will be able to, not next turn, but the turn after, probably send out our first wave of Jade Maidens. We'll do a group of 6, probably with a Van here, right? And then be able to slowly trickle them in over the course of several turns. We'll see how it works. I don't know if there is anything else really big happening. We kind of... so we've gotten some decent little luck events. We got lucky with Loki. That's great. That's fantastic. And we've gotten a couple of little nice luck events and a couple of meh or bad luck events. We're kind of waiting for that one big, either we're waiting for another unique hero to pop, or we're waiting for that first big gold luck event, right? 1,000 or so gold, 500 to 600 or so gold. I don't think we've had one of those yet, right? Have we? I can't remember. I don't think we have, but we're waiting for that. And doing that, achieving that is going to be a nice oof like moment. Hopefully that's going to allow us to full recruit everywhere and still have money left over, because once you hit that kind of full recruit everywhere with money left over, you reach a point to where you can start to liberally utilize your cash for frivolous things. We'll see if we can get there. I also want to get some Jade Sorceresses out for water and nature searching. That's mostly the turn. Thanks for hanging out. Exciting turn to come. Exciting turns to come, I think. First war is about to be underway. A little later on than I expected. Honestly, I kind of like choked up on springing this when I realized that Saramesha probably had Horde of Skeletons, and then confirming that they had Horde of Skeletons. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.